It was really difficult to decide what to review today because I just came back from Catalyst, which was like drinking from a fire hose, of course. We had about 15 lectures to listen to, and I came home with, no kidding, 14 books at the end of the conference. I read 4 of them this weekend, which seems like a lot, but this was one of the ones that I finished on the way to Catalyst in the car, and it is definitely well worth a read. So I definitely want to go over why I'm recommending Home Behind the Sun. It is a beautifully written book. Even though it is a nonfiction book, it reads very much like lyrical prose fiction. Beautiful imagery, easy to read. Like I said, I read it between Valdosta and Atlanta in the car on the way to Catalyst. So it's definitely worth a read. It's about finding brilliance, the touches of glory in the life around you. A lot of times in this world, especially with all the things we've got going on, where you just suffered through a hurricane, there were so many deaths, so much devastation that happened to so many people, and there are things going on around the world and in our country as well, all the time, that can get us to give up hope on finding beauty and finding hope and finding good things in the world around us. And I love this take on making sure that you stop to find the hope. Stop to find those touches of brilliance, not only in the things that are dark around us, which are, it's very hard to find hope in the midst of the darkness, yet very important to look for hope in the midst of despair and crisis and difficulty and trials and sorrow and grief. We must find hope. We must find people who are comforting and offer us not platitudes, but true, real touches of grace and kindness and compassion and good elements in the world around us during times that are difficult. And in those times, we especially need to find the light in the world around us. We also need to find touches of beauty in the everyday, in the days that are just ordinary, beyond all, sometimes beyond all enduring ordinary. The days when you get up and you seem like you do that same day over and over again. You get up and you go to work. You take the kids where they need to go. You listen to the same complaints, the same whining, the same challenges, the same difficulty. And when you get home, you're ready to go to bed, and you know you're going to get up and face the same ordinariness all over again the next day. But finding in the midst of the mundane and the ordinary those touches of beauty that you don't want to miss before they're completely gone by. Because our moments can be moments in which we find not just the darkness, not just the pessimism. Those things are there, and those things will be coming naturally to our awareness. It's easy to find the complaints. It's easy to see the things that are wrong, but making sure you take the time to look for the things that are right around you, the things that are standing out as that tiny speck of good in the midst of the shadows. We want to look for those things, and then on top of finding them ourselves, we don't want to keep it to ourselves. We can, no matter how flawed we are, and believe me, we all are flawed, no matter how well you think of yourself. We all have flaws. None of us are perfect. But in spite of that, and sometimes because of that, we can become those lights, those vessels of hope to the people around us. We can be the ones in the midst of the crisis and the darkness that reach out and show compassion. We can be the ones in the midst of the ordinary and the mundane days that say, today is a special day to be thankful for, because you are you and I am me, and we are in this day, in this ordinary mundane day, able to reach out to each other right now. There are days when it's just so ordinary or so dark that the person next to you really needs you to listen, to offer a hug, to smile at them and say, how are you really? Those are the times when you can be, no matter how flawed you are, a true vessel of light in the world around you. And this book encourages us to become that vessel. Regardless of how you think you might be flawed, you can still offer light. That's how we were created. We were created for relationship in ways that lift one another up and encourage each other through times that are difficult, through times that are mundane and ordinary, that seems like we're going through the same motions every day. Times when we don't see the hope, that's when we need to look harder, and that's when we need to become the light to others, because as we choose to show light, to demonstrate light, to teach light, and speak it, and become evidence of it in the lives of those who really need to see it most, that's where we experience it the most ourselves. By becoming that, by offering it, by sharing it. Not as platitudes, like I said again, you don't want to tell someone, it's going to be okay, everything's going to be fine, don't cry. Don't offer platitudes, but offer your presence, offer your compassion. Tell them they matter and that you care about them and you're willing to just be there for them. Share with them a hug, a smile, a meal, something that really offers them a sense of light and goodness in their lives. So I hope that this message is encouraging you to look a little bit more into Home Behind the Sun. And if you don't get a chance to read it, at least take to heart the message that it offers and look for those ways in the world around you today, whether you've been affected by the hurricanes, whether you've been affected by losses in your family recently, whether you've been affected by the economy or anything else that's going on in your life. We have so many things around us every day that can cause us despair and harm. Whether you are the one in need of light or the one who can offer light, make sure you try to do both. Look for it and become it. And that's what I've got for you today, and I hope that you have a fantastic week. As always, be encouraged, and I'll look forward